This video is brought to you by John Robben Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robben Guitar Tuition. As always, and especially at the moment, I do hope you're well. So what have I got for you today then? Well, it's a solo, it being the weekend. I've been listening to a lot of Robben Ford a lot lately, most notably this album, a fantastic album, Talk to Your Daughter. If you don't know it, I can highly recommend it. And for me, one of the standout tracks on there is Robben's version of the old B.B. King tune, Help the Poor. And I've always loved Robben's treatment of that tune, and I thought I'll have a bit of a jam in that style. This isn't really, over the same exact chord sequences as going on in that song, and I'm certainly not trying to emulate Robben Ford. I'm just kind of playing how I play and trying to approximate his style a little bit, using a few of the same kind of devices that he uses, kind of this lick and that scale and so on and so on. So I tell you what, let's have a listen to the solo, then I'll tell you exactly how I played it. Okay, so what's going on here? Well, we're basically in D minor. That's our core tonality. So D minor pentatonic is going to be an excellent starting point to base your soloing on, and that's largely what I was doing in this solo, one or two twists and turns aside. So if you don't know D minor pentatonic, here it is right now, all of the different patterns of D minor pentatonic wherever they occur on the neck. And if you don't know these, well, press pause and screenshot this little set of diagrams, or if you're one of my Patreon supporters, you can download them in PDF format when I upload all of the resources for this little lesson, tabs and stuff like that. So, D minor pentatonic. Now, if we take a look at the chord sequence, here it is. You can see that those are the chords that I'm playing over, and as I said, mainly it's in D minor, although there is one little kind of step outside of that tonality when I go from the G minor 7 up to the B flat minor 7. Just basically a little bit of modal interchange, if you want to call it that, a borrowed chord, a little key change for a brief moment there. So in order to take account of that, we need to know what notes are in the scale and how all of that relates to the chord sequence. So here are the notes in the scale, D, F, G, A, C, and then if we take a look at the notes in the chords, there they are, and compare the two, you can begin to see that there is a lot of overlap between the chord notes and the notes of the scale. There is at least one scale note that's safe to land on over every one of those chords in that chord sequence. But you can also see that there's a lot of extra notes that you can add in, which will make it sound that little bit more tuneful and melodic and just tailored to the chord sequence. So how are you going to do this? Well, let's say you want to add in the D flat note over that B flat minor 7 chord. You know, finding notes on the neck is something that perplexes a lot of people, but the secret to it is just kind of look for the one note you want at any given moment and get absolutely confident in where that note is, and then hopefully you'll remember it. So if you're looking for D flat, well, if you know that this is D minor pentatonic, and that note there is a D, you know, it's the 10th fret on the E string, and you can look at the diagrams that I put up earlier and reference where the notes are and stuff. But basically, you know that that note is a D. Well, that's got to be D flat then, hasn't it? Okay, so just little things like that, and you know, just locate the one note that's going to be useful to you in that moment. A little bit of preparation work, and then just try using it. Try coming up with a lick that might go, oh, I don't know, like that, where you just kind of step back onto that note and you'll hear it sounds good. And, you know, it just gives you that little reward for having put in a little bit of effort of learning where that note is. And gradually, if you do that with all of the notes that are going to be useful, you know, you're going to pretty soon know where they all are. Anyway, as I say, you can add notes into the pentatonic scale and just modify the pentatonic a little bit to take into account the chord notes in this manner. There is one point in the solo there where I do go a little bit sort of bebop and pull out a bit of a jazzy lick. It's the part of the solo that goes like this. Indeed. So what was I doing there? Right. Well, at that particular point in the chord sequence, we have an A7 chord going to a D minor. Okay? And basically, hold on to your hats, when you have A7 going to D minor, you can use the A superlocrian mode, which is also known as the A altered dominant scale, which is the same thing as the B flat melodic minor scale, the 7th mode thereof. Yeah, you can cut through all of that sort of stuff. All you got to remember is that A7 going to D minor, there is essentially a B flat minor thing that you can do over the A7 chord. Okay, and in terms of the B flat minor thing that I did in this situation is I just played a little B flat minor chord. So just play a B flat minor chord, arpeggio, or, you know, kind of run over the top of the A7 chord, and, you know, it'll work, as I shall now demonstrate. So there you go. You saw the B flat minor shape on the little fretbox diagram there, and you heard it being stepped through over the top of the A7 chord, and it gives you that wonderful little kind of bebop, jazzy, kind of slightly Robben Ford kind of sound. And I'm not sure if that's how he thinks when he's doing it, but that's certainly how I think whenever I have to come up with a lick like that. So all you got to remember is A7 going to D minor, use a B flat minor over the A7, and it will give you that kind of sound. Handy little trick, and it certainly makes me sound cleverer than I actually am. So there you go, folks. That's how I was thinking when I was playing that little solo. And there you have it. Now, as always, give me a day or so and there will be a full tab for that solo along with the PDF that I mentioned in that little clip there, and the jam track, and that little kind of demonstration and explanation. It'll all be up on my Patreon page for my wonderful, wonderful Patreon supporters. Thank you, guys. I am really, truly grateful. It is very, very much appreciated. So if you like a few jazzy, bebop, kind of sophisticated blues licks like that, and you want to throw them into your own playing, then, you know, check it out. It's only $3 a month, and you get all of these tabs and stuff. And, you know, just see what you can grab from there and put it into your own solos. Hopefully it all makes some kind of sense in that explanation. And if it doesn't, then watch it again. And that's pretty much all I've got for you today. I'll just remind you that although today is Saturday, you know what happens every Friday, if you were there last night. Anyway, we have a live stream, 5 p.m. UK time every Friday. Just a few beers and a bit of a chat and a laugh, and just kicking the weekend off with a bit of, rest and relaxation after a hard week. So hope to see many of you there on Friday, even though it's at the other end of the week from now. What else? Oh yes, I need to tell you about these t-shirts here. A very talented chap called Pete, who goes by the moniker of Axe Caricaturist, did a caricature of me, and they are now available on t-shirts. And as Pete donated the caricature to me, I thought I'd donate all of the proceeds that I would get from the sale of these t-shirts. Teespring are still going to take their cut, obviously, but all of the money I would normally get from the sale of these shirts will go straight to Zoe's Place Baby Hospice, a charity in Middlesbrough which does fantastic work with very seriously ill young children. So buy a t-shirt, support a good cause. And if you want to support this channel, then obviously you can join the Patreon, or you can buy some of my missus' wonderful jewellery. She makes handmade genuine gemstone jewellery. Here's a few examples of it that you can see from her online store. So if you're stuck for a present idea or a gift idea or whatever, then check out the store. Link is in the description, along with Pete, the Axe Caricaturist, as I said. What else? Oh yes, while we're on the topic of spending money, if you're thinking of getting yourself a Fret Zealot tuition aid, then you can use this discount code you can see on screen there, purchase link, as you know, in the description. Get yourself a Fret Zealot, fantastic little tuition device, and you'll get a little bit of money knocked off thanks to that discount code. And with that, I'll bid you all good day. Have a great weekend, and just stay safe, stay well, and above all, stay sane. Thanks for watching, folks. Bye for now.